Good morning. Today we will discuss regarding design of electro-hydraulic circuits. So relay-based electro-hydraulic system. So in the electrical actuation of a hydraulic valve, the necessary actuating force is obtained electrically with the help of solenoid. The off-center core of the solenoid coil is pulled towards the center of the coil when the electric current is passed through it. This discrete movement of the core is used to actuate the solenoid valve. The solenoid valve in an electrohydraulic system acts as an interface between the hydraulic part and the electrical part of the system. So in this lecture, we will see the direct control and indirect control of the system. So 4 by 2 way single solenoid valve and spring return. So in the normal position of the solenoid valve, the pressure port P is connected to working port B and the working port A is connected to tank port T. The valve is actuated when the rated voltage is applied to coil Y. In the actuated position of the valve, the port P is connected to port A and the port B is connected to port T. So when supply to the coil is cut off, the valve returns to its normal position. This valve can be used as the final control element for controlling a double acting cylinder. So you can see in a diagram at the top you can see there is a 4 by 2 solenoid operated, single solenoid operated and spring return DC control valve. So in a normal position the P it is connected to B and A working port A it is connected to T. So this is a normal position. So it is actually a retraction stroke of the cylinder. Now when the solenoid is energized, then after energizing the solenoid Y, so you can see in a diagram, you can see the symbolic representation. So after energizing Y, the valve position it is changed. Now the port P it is connected to A and port B it is connected to T. So you will get the forward stroke of the cylinder. Now 4 by 2 way double solenoid valve. The 4 by 2 way double solenoid electro-hydraulic valve consists of two solenoid coils on either side of the valve controlling its hydraulic part. The valve remains in a particular position due to the application of a pulse or continuous signal to the coil at one end as long as no opposing signal is presented to the coil at the other end. Hence, this valve shows the memory characteristics. Then the different control devices that are used in an electro-hydraulic system. A number of control elements such as push buttons, relays, then timers and sensors are used in electro-hydraulic systems to realize various control functions. So first is push button switch. So that is a very important element that is used in a electro-hydraulic system, that is a push button switch. A push button switch is a device used to close or open an electric circuit. This control device consists of a push button actuating head, a set of fixed and movable contacts, and a restraining spring. Pressing the push button against the restraining spring operates its contacts. So you can see the push button switch. So first in the first diagram you can see there is a normally open contact and in a second you can see the normally closed contact. The types of contacts distinguished according to their functions are normally open, that is NO type, then normally close, that is NC type, and third, that is changeover, that is CO type. So this is a table indicates the different NC contacts and NO contacts for ordinary device and the special relays like timers and counters. So and the terminal designations that are shown in the table for different relays. Then push button station. A push button station consists of a number of contacts sets, that is NO, NC and CO, with a common actuation. A pair of successive two-digit numbers is used to designate the terminals of a contact in a push button station. In the two-digit number, the digits in a unit place indicates the function of the contact, that is whether it is an NO type or an NC type, and the digits in the tens place merely represent a serial ordering of all contact sets in a push button station for identifying each contact set uniquely. Now we will see the direct control of a double acting hydraulic cylinder. So two positions that are shown in a next slide. So two positions of a self-explanatory hydraulic circuits for the direct control of double acting cylinder are shown in a next slide. So you can see. So at the top there is a hydraulic part, hydraulic circuit. It is shown, and at the bottom of the slide the electrical circuit for the hydraulic part, it is shown below. Now you can see. So first you can see the hydraulic part. So hydraulic part that is shown, and the direct control that you can see in this slide. So in a hydraulic circuit you can see there is a pump, then the normal position that is shown. So in a normal position the cylinder, it is retracted position. So this is the normal position. So you can see in a normal position the pump port, that is pressure port P, it is connected to B, which will move the piston in a backward direction, and the port A, it is connected to tank. Okay, then in a circuit also you can see there is a pressure relief valve to access the to divert the excess fluid in a tank, maintain the constant pressure throughout the system. Then port P, it is connected to B, and A, it is connected to tank. So this is normal position. So you can see the electric circuit. For that there is a the solenoid valve and the push button that is connected in between 24 volt supply and the ground. So 24 volt supply, it is given to the circuit, and 0 volt, it is a ground. So you can see the solenoid Y and push button switch, it is connected between 24 volt and the ground. So this is a normal position. Now in a second position, that is activated position, first you see the electrical part. When the push button switch is activated, then due to activation of the push button, the solenoid Y, it is energized and it changed the position of 4x2 DC valve. Now you can see the position of DC valve, the connections or the ports are changed. Now you can see the hydraulic part on the left hand side circuit. You can see the P is connected to A, which will move the piston in a forward direction, and at the same time the fluid from the piston rod end, that is working port B, it is connected to T. So that will be the forward stroke. So this is a direct control of the electrohydraulic circuit. Then electromagnetic relay. The relay mainly consists of a coil and a number of independent contact sets. Each contact set consists of a stationary contact and a movable contact. It also includes a stationary core and movable core to confine the magnetic field. The movable contacts are coupled to a movable core. Therefore, when the coil is energized with the help of an additional electrical circuit, the movable core is pulled towards the stationary core, thus operating all its coupled contacts simultaneously. This movement either makes or breaks the connection of the movable contact with its respective fixed contact in each contact set. So this is a electromagnetic relay. You can see the movable core, movable contact, fixed contact and the fixed core. And there is a restraining spring. So the working of that electromagnetic relay, it is shown in this slide. Then we will see the indirect control of a double acting hydraulic cylinder using a relay. So for indirect control of the electrohydraulic circuit, the relay it is used. So in a direct contact that we have seen in a previous slides, there is a direct contact, there was no relay that is used. But in a indirect contact of the double acting hydraulic cylinder, the relay it is required. So you can see the circuit diagram. On the top you can see the hydraulic circuits, and at the bottom you can see the electrical circuit for that function. Now, so in a hydraulic circuit, so first it is a normal position. In a normal position you can see in a direction control valve, or you can see in a hydraulic circuit. So pump, there is a pump, then the pump that pressurizes the fluid, and there is a pressure relief valve to maintain the constant pressure throughout the system. In a normal position, P is connected to B, and A is connected to T. So this is a retraction stroke. This is a retraction stroke. So you can see the position of the DC control valve. So it is a single solenoid spring return DC control valve. So in a normal position, the push button it is released, which deactivates the relay coil so that it opens the relay switch, resulting de-energizing the solenoid because it is a single solenoid. Now in a second circuit diagram, you can see that it's shown by the red color. When the push button is pushed on, it will activate the relay coil K. Relay coil closes the relay switch, which will energize the solenoid Y. After solenoid Y is energized, the valve position or DC valve position it is changed. Now P is connected to A and B is connected to T. You can see in a left hand side circuit diagram, hydraulic part, how the valve position it is changed. So in a circuit diagram you can see first diagram that you can see there is a 24 volt supply, then push button it is connected to the push button and the relay coil. So in a indirect contact, the relay coil and the relay switch it is required, that is connected in a circuit in between the push button and the solenoid valve. So for that it is called a indirect control. Then there is a PB, means it is a push button. Then below that there is a box, so that is a relay coil K. Then in a second line, that is 2 3, there is a relay switch which will energize the solenoid valve Y. So this is a indirect control of the hydraulic circuit. Then logic controls, that is electric. So logic controls are used to start or stop various operations in hydraulic systems based on the satisfaction of certain conditions in these systems. Two of the most important logic functions are and, or. These functions are used to logically combine signals representing certain conditions in a system. In the AND logic function, the output is produced when all the inputs are present. In OR logic function, the output is produced when one or more, that is greater than or equal to 1, input are present. Then memory function, a circuit or device with a memory function remembers its last output state even after the input signal from the input device responsible for this output has been removed. A memory function can be implemented in a electrohydraulic circuits by using an electrical latching circuit or by using double solenoid valve. So you can see the latching circuit. So in a normal position you can see, and in a activated position that you can see. So there is a latching. So there is a latching that is shown in between the two lines, two vertical lines. One more circuit that is added, that is for latching of the switch. So latching of the electrical connection. So generally it is used for multi-cycle operation. So in a first cylinder that you will get the forward stroke after activating the solenoid valve. The cylinder, that valve position, it is changed and it will start the reverse position. And after that again, every time you have to press the push button, or you have to activate the push button switch. So in a latching circuit, so every time you have not to operate to push button valve every time. So once you press the push button valve, all the cycles that are repeated in a latching circuit. Then sensors. So sensors can detect the presence of objects. A sensor can work either by the actual physical contact with an object or by the movement of the object in its proximity. Accordingly, the sensors are classified as contact type sensors, for example, limit switch, and contactless type sensors, that is proximity sensors. So these are the very important part in a electrohydraulic circuit. So you can use the limit switches or proximity switches as a sensing the position of the cylinder or the piston. Now first is limit switch. A limit switch is a contact type sensor comprising a set of switching contacts, normally open, normally close, and CO type, that is changeover type. A roller operated plunger and return springs. The roller lever is mechanically linked to the contacts. It is usually actuated mechanically by a moving element such as cylinder piston in the associated machine to indicate a particular position of the moving element. Then limit switch. So same, it is shown here. You can see the diagram of the limit switch in this slide. Then reed switch. A reed switch consists of two metal strips, reeds, that is reeds, acting as switching contacts. It is hermetically sealed in a glass tube filled with an inert gas to prevent the corrosion of its contacts. This unit is further encapsulated in epoxy resin casing. It is designed to mount on a cylinder. It reacts to the magnetic fields of the permanent magnets provided on a cylinder piston. So this is a diagram of reed switch, and on the right hand side the symbols for reed switch it is given. Then proximity sensors. So it is a contactless type sensor. A proximity sensors is a contactless type sensor that detects the presence of an object using a detection system and converts this information into a corresponding electrical signal. One type of detection system uses the eddy currents that are generated in a metallic sensing object by the interaction of the detection system and the object. Another type detects the changes in the electrical capacity of the capacitor in the detection system when an object approaches the sensor. Yet another type detects objects through a variety of optical properties. Accordingly, there are three basic types of proximity sensors. They are inductive type sensors, then capacitive type sensors, and optical type sensors. So first, that is inductive type proximity sensors. So inductive proximity sensors are widely used in a modern high-speed industrial and process control systems for the detection of the metallic objects. An inductive proximity sensor consists of the following blocks: an oscillator circuit, a switching circuit, an amplifier, an output stage, all housed in a resin encapsulated body. A part of the oscillator circuit is a coil capable of producing high frequency magnetic oscillations in the active switching area when the rated voltage is applied to the sensor. If any metallic object is brought near to the active switching area of the sensor, eddy currents are generated in the object. The eddy currents are converted into heat. In fact, this loss draws energy from the oscillator. As a result, the oscillations are weakened. The switching circuit converts this state of the oscillator into a clear signal through the switching stage. Finally, the output signal is amplified and delivered to the load circuit. The sensing range of inductive proximity sensors is usually small, typically up to 12 mm. Now we will see the semi-automatic operation of a double acting hydraulic cylinder using a sensor. The hydraulic part and the electrical part of the circuit for the semi-automatic operation of a double acting hydraulic cylinder using a proximity sensor. The name in the diagram that is given for that proximity sensor, it is S2, are shown in the next slide. So you can see in a hydraulic part, that is the top part, you can see there is a sensor S2, proximity sensor S2, it is placed. So you can see in the first part, when the push button switch is on or it is pressed, it will operate K. So you can see in a electrical circuit diagram for the first position. So first position, it is for the cylinder, it is extending, and the second part on a right hand side indicates the cylinder, it is started to retract. So push button switch, it is switch on, it will activate K, or it will activate the K1, which will activate relay switch K1. So you can see in a diagram. So in a diagram, there is a push button switch that is shown. Then also the latching circuit, it is shown for the repetitive cycles. Then below that there is a switch, relay switch K2, it is shown, and below that there is a K1 relay switch or the relay coil K1, it is shown. In a second line you can see the 3 and 4, point 3 and 4, there is a relay switch K1, it is placed, and below that there is a solenoid Y that is shown. So in this circuit diagram you can see there is a 4x2 single solenoid spring return DC control valve that is used. So only one solenoid that is used, and the other stroke that is due to the spring return. Now in this position, the P it is connected to A and B it is connected to T. Now you will get the forward stroke after activation of the solenoid Y. Now when the piston rod in a first position, when the piston rod is reached to S2, so S2 it is a proximity switch, that is S2 means it is a position of proximity switch. It will activate the relay coil K2, which will de-energize the solenoid Y. So after de-energizing of solenoid Y due to spring, the cylinder that valve position it is changed. Now you can see in a second diagram, after de-energizing the solenoid Y, the P it is connected to B and the return stroke it will get started. At the same time A is connected to T. So this cylinder operation it is due to the proximity switch S2. So in the first diagram, when the forward stroke it is started, when the piston rod it is reached to S2, as is reached to the S2, that proximity switch that will operate the solenoid, and that solenoid it is de-energized because only one solenoid that is used in this valve. After de-energizing the solenoid Y, you can see in a circuit diagram, the P it is connected, the valve position it is changed, and P it is connected to B, and the return stroke it is started. At the same time A is connected to T. So this is regarding the working using proximity sensors. Then time delay relays or the timers. A time delay relay or timer is a control device used to obtain a specified time delay between work operations in an industrial system. There are two basic types of timers. They are on delay timer and off delay timer. So on delay timer delays the operation of its contacts for say t seconds when the coil is energized on, but the timer brings back its contacts immediately to their normal position when the coil is de-energized, that is off. So control of a double acting cylinder using a timer. So you can directly see the operation. So timer it is placed. So in a first diagram you can see when the cylinder is reached to the proximity sensor S2. So after reaching S2, some delay in a reverse stroke it is required. So that delay it is achieved by the timer circuit in a electrohydraulic system. So that timer that will delays the operation. So in a first diagram you can see when the push button it is operated in this circuit, you can see there is a double solenoid. It is a double solenoid 4x2 direction control hall it is used. When there is a two solenoids y1 and y2 it is used. So in a first circuit diagram you can see when the push button it is push on, then K1 it is energized, which will activate or which will activate the switch K1, and that switch K1 that will energize Y1. So after energizing Y1, the P it is connected to A, which will move the piston in a forward direction. At the same time B is connected to T. Now when the piston that reaches to S2, now some delay in a reverse stroke it is required. Suppose 10-second delay it is required for the reverse stroke. So at that time that delay it is achieved by the timer circuit. After 10 seconds that timer that will actuate the another relay, and which will energize the solenoid Y2. After activating the solenoid Y2 after few seconds or after 10 seconds, then that position of the DC wall it is changed. Now P it is connected to B and A is connected to T. That is you can see in a second in a diagram in a right hand side, and the forward stroke it is started. So the delay that can be achieved with the delay circuit or the timer that is placed in a circuit which will activate the another relay, and then another operation that will start. So this is a use of delay circuit in a electro-hydraulic system. So you can see the circuit diagram for activation of Y1 and Y2. So this is regarding the design of electro-hydraulic circuits. Thank you.